What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about my first impressions and my look at Underdogs on the PSVR 2. Now this was developed by one Hamza. It actually came out last year in January on the Quest platforms, and we're now only just getting it now. It is out now currently on the store. It's around £24.99 in the UK, so probably $30 in the US. And this game is a roguelike. Before we talk about it, let's get that out of the way. So in Underdogs, you play as one of two brothers. You are entering into the Killbox, an arena where you can fight robots, fight mechs and other robotic creatures to try and earn cash and build reputation. In the Killbox, we're in here for a reason. We're trying to make our way to the top to make a name for ourselves. And our weapon of choice is the mech known as the monkey, a big bulking creature that we use to fight other mechs with multiple different weapons. Like I said, this is a roguelike. There apparently are over 130 items in the game, whether that's weapons you can attach to your suit, if that's things you can use to help you out, to aid you, such as drones and hacking machines. Well, there's lots of different things you can use, and I've only scraped the surface of it. So the game is broken up into multiple different phases. So you have the battles, obviously, in the Killbox, where you have to fight waves of enemies, and there's lots of different things in there as well, like traps. You can throw them into spike walls, but it changes itself up every time you play. And then when you're done with the battles, in between there are segments where you get to upgrade your gear, you can repair your gear that's been damaged in the previous battle, and you can go to vendors to try and buy new upgrades and buy additional things that are going to help you out in the next one. And there's also things you can do in between here as well, which is a little bit of an extra mechanic where you can actually try and run the risk of stealing things from vendors just to get an extra bit of reward. But if it all goes wrong, I mean, the vendor's probably not going to want to stick around using you as a customer anymore. So you've got to really run that risk and see if it's worth doing in your eyes. So there is a lot of customization in the game about you play exactly how you want to play. You build your character exactly how you want to play to get that perfect run. Now, I haven't ever made it all the way to the end. I don't even know if this does end. From my first impressions, I've only played maybe 3 hours of the game, and I usually get around 4 or 5 waves in before I end up dying and starting again. But that's the good thing about this being a roguelike. You can actually go back in and start fresh and have an extremely different experience. And I know there's a lot of people that are burnt out on the roguelike type of game, but actually I think this one is one of the ones that actually makes you want to jump straight back in as soon as you've finished a wave. Like I said previously that there is like 130 items. I didn't get to test too many in my playthrough. I did check out a few different weapons. One of them was like a giant sort of hatchet that I was using to just chop into the creatures, and that would sort of freeze them in time because I was sticking them to the ground with this big hatchet. And then on the other arm I had a buzzsaw, and this was used to rev up and sort of cut through them, and you can slam it down and do all kind of different things with these weapons. The game is very physics based, so essentially what you're doing with your arms is going to affect the robot. So the harder and the faster that you pull your arm back and swing at someone, the more damage it's going to do. Underdogs is very frenetic in that way. When you first start playing, there's a lot to take in. There's a lot of things going on at once. You have to sort of spin around and dash around, people, throw people, make sure you're not running into mines and spiked walls. There's a lot you have to sort of get your head around, but I think once you sort of crack it, once you nail it, it becomes a very immersive experience because you have all these tools and ways to maneuver around all at your disposal. As far as I'm aware, you can't actually walk in this game using the analog stick. You have to use your fists to pull yourself around as if you are like a giant ape. You have to thrust yourself at people, and that's actually a bash attack, which I found myself using even more than the normal attacks with the weapons all the time, because you can sort of just ram it into someone and smash them into a spiked wall and just do some serious damage. There is a learning curve to the movement as well, because you can use one arm to sort of move yourself around in a circle or back and forth using the arm, while you're sort of leaning forward and chopping them down with your left arm or your right arm, whichever one you're more comfortable with. So I think there's a lot of room to be really skilled at this game. You really get your playstyle down, and that's the thing with it being physics based. Everyone is going to be playing in a very different way. I don't believe there is a multiplayer mode in this game, but I think that could be really awesome if you're playing mech to mech with one of your friends. Because of the physics based combat and how people can play completely differently, it would be unpredictable and it'd be super fun. It'd be like Robot Wars or something. So I think the flow of it works really well with the pre-battle, the battle, the reward system, and then like the whole cycle, the gameplay loop of going in, repairing what you need repairing, upgrading what you need to repair and upgrade. And it's a good cycle, and I think it's a really fun game, and I do recommend that you do check this one out. I never played the Quest version, but from what I believe, the parity is actually pretty good between that version and this one. Obviously the differences are there's going to be some higher resolution, maybe some higher textures. The lighting's going to be better because of OLED panels and HDR, obviously. That's one thing I did notice about this game. As soon as I turned it on, it has a weird sort of filter over it. It has a weird yellow tinge to it. And at first I was a bit unsure if I was liking it or not, because it kind of got rid of some of the clarity, but it's definitely a visual style that they wanted to go with, and it does put you in more of a like a gritty mood. I don't know what it is, but yeah, there is a yellow tinge to it, which is like you're wearing a visor, which I suppose if you're inside a mech suit, it could be as if you are like inside the mech and that's what you're seeing through the screen of the mech. I love the storytelling in this one as well, the way it's done. It's similar to something like Infamous that you see on like the PS3. It's like a cartoon, it's almost like a comic panel the way it's done, but with the perception and the 3D of it, you're seeing different layers of this cutscene play out. I'm not sure if the gameplay will get that across in the video I'm showing you now, but essentially you're seeing layers of, like, there'll be a part where you and your brother are talking while looking at something, and you can see that you and your brother are in the foreground and the background is way ahead of you, and it just gives this really cool comic book style aesthetic, but in a 3D style. With it being like a comic book panel as well, a lot of the story is done through the voice acting, and they do a really good job with the voice acting. This is obviously trying to be this sort of Cockney London gangster style, and that plays into the music as well. The music's very grime style, so they're definitely nailing the aesthetic and the theming and the style that they want, and I think it works really well. There are haptics in the controllers, I believe, when you're like hitting things. It's been a couple of days since I played now, but I do remember, I think there was some good haptics in the controllers. I don't remember seeing much on haptics in the headset itself, but I could be wrong. You might want to check out some of the other reviews who have done more of an in-depth look at Underdogs, but honestly, I think this is a really good start to the year with 2025 as a new PSVR 2 title to add to the library, and I do recommend you check this one out, especially if you're looking for something to just let loose and destroy some robots. One thing I will say is this game will tire you out. It's very demanding in the physical face. Like, your arms will be killing you after this, because you really have to put your punches in, and the game makes you actually want to do that. It makes you want to deal some serious damage to these robots. So you're actually going full swing on this. You're not just tapping these monsters, you are bringing your arm back and slamming it down on them. This is a good exercise game if you wanted a game where you can smash robots up and actually burn some calories at the same time. I hope I've not missed too much with this being quite a brief first impressions, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below if you've been playing Underdogs, if you're looking forward to it. If you have any questions about it, let me know in the comment section. Also, subscribe if you haven't, and guys, I will see you in the next video.